and welcome to Food for Thought, a series of shows produced by university students from around the world. I'm Matthew Davison.
And I'm Lena Al-Sadi. We're your hosts from Ryerson University in Toronto, Canada.
I'm Ana Cruz Lopez, along with Noah Chavez.
We are from Fresno State in California in the United States. We are producing 7 shows about everything food related, from street foods from around the world, to fad diets, to innovative projects dealing with food waste.
You can watch them all on our website and social media.
This episode will focus on the foods we grow, including whether organic foods are actually better for us than non-organic ones. And we'll also discuss how the pandemic has affected migrant workers.
Let's get started.
Central California is a major food producer for the world. Farmers in the region grow a majority of nut trees such as almonds. California provides about 80% of the world's almonds.
But this crop uses lots of water. With our latest drought, California is looking for ways to keep water flowing to farmers. I found out more about what they're doing. Here's my story.
Farmers like Joe Del Bosque had to cut back on the amount of water his almond trees receive.
This year we had to cut back on the applications of our almonds. We probably gave our almonds about maybe 2/3 of what they should have required.
If you've seen your almonds a bit smaller, this may be why.
That did impact our crop in the size of the nuts and even in the quantity of the nuts, because we see some nuts that when you open them up, the nut is shriveled up.
Many techniques are being done to overcome the issue.
So they're trying every trick in the book, so to speak, to try and make sure and sustain the amount of almonds that they can.
Del Bosque Farms is using high technology in order to not waste any water.
We put in drip irrigation to be efficient with our water. We use high-tech soil moisture sensors and the highest technology available on determining the water needs of our almonds.
So it's an art and a science to try and do all these things to sustain the crop and to maintain growing the nut crops.
Del Bosque Farms have 2 major crops, almonds and melons. Del Bosque says that to manage their water supply, they share water for their crops.
Many farmers in California's Central Valley have to decide whether to continue pumping expensive well water to their almond orchards or just pull up the trees and wait for the drought to end.
Is the fear of drought a central issue in the state of California?
2021 was the driest year on record in California since 1924. This past year, we only got 11 inches of snow and rainfall. It's less than half of what we usually get. On average, California gets about 28 inches of rainfall.
Areas of Western Canada are experiencing more frequent and severe droughts, and scientists expect this trend to continue. Of course, everyone remembers that heat wave north of where you are in Fresno in British Columbia, where there's a devastating heat wave that saw temperatures soar to 46.6 degrees Celsius, which is 115.88 Fahrenheit, breaking an 84-year national record, and a lot of grain and fruits and vegetables are produced over in our western provinces.
You are watching Food for Thought. Many people underestimate just how much water goes into maintaining a crop. That's one of the many reasons why farming produces quite a large carbon footprint.
But it's not just farming, it's also the transportation needed to get the foods to consumers. Our next story comes from Hong Kong. Leona Liu from Hong Kong Baptist University will tell us more.
Buying locally in order to reduce the carbon footprint of food transport is one way of contributing to food sustainability. One local farm in Hong Kong goes a step further by creating a symbiotic system in which the fish and the vegetables feed each other. Nicholas Xu has the story.
This is how fish and vegetables can live together. They both will go from farm to people's table later as sustainable food.
我呢套系統咧，其實咧就係利用魚排出嚟嘅阿摩尼亞啦，上到我菜盤啦，供給啲養分俾啲菜，啲水之後咧就會喺菜盤嗰度咧排翻出去嗰個魚嗰度去再過濾咁俾魚啦。咁原本呢個魚菜共生亦都係一個環保嘅系統嚟㗎，用嘅水啊好少啊，唔會用農藥。
Not only will the vegetables become the food, so does the fish.
咁我哋可以，我如果做呢個現代農夫，可以魚菜共生嘅農夫咧，可以賣菜啦，同埋我哋養嘅魚亦都係養食用魚啦。所以就係話我哋呢 呢個系統咧係完全咧係菜同埋魚都可以供給到俾我哋嘅收入嘅。
This process is so-called the concept of farm to table, which advocates customers to directly use crops from farmland to encourage local agriculture. And this fish and vegetable farm isn't the only one in Mui Wo which practices this idea. Land Education Foundation is a non-profit group in Hong Kong. It has gathered several ecological farms in Mui Wo since 2018. This is the farming workshop it provided on its open day.
咁呢個咧就係話我哋利用一啲咧平時我哋飲完嘢嗰啲水樽咧，咁我哋就唔掉啦，我哋就會將佢加工少少啦。例如咧，我哋喺呢度咧就係cut開一個位置，咁我哋加上一啲泥土，再加啲咧薄荷，咁啲薄荷咧就其實就好容易生根嘅飲下。咁如果我哋自己親手種嘅，當然就最安全啦，亦都會最好味噶啦。
This concept is introduced in the process of workshops, camping, and trial classes that the foundation organizes. Customers also have something to say.
我真係見到本地嘅農夫佢真係自己種出嚟嘅話，本地人係食翻本地農夫種嘅農作物，會覺得促進翻自己本地消費。
Food for Thought is the name of our show. It's also the name of a company here in California that has no relation to our show. The Fresno version of Food for Thought brings high-quality produce to students to help them eat better and learn better. Kevin Hernandez from Fresno State tells us more about this farm-to-school program.
Throughout California, most fruit is bought through normal means like stands and supermarkets. Well, what if I told you about a produce delivery service that sells and delivers fruits and vegetables fresh from the fields? Food for Thought LLC is a program that partners with around 20 small and mid-sized family farms that struggle to move their products on their own. This program has made deliveries to places like Sacramento and even as far as Palm Springs.
Everything we do is completely 100% seasonally based. So if it's not in season, we don't have it. I don't do apples and oranges in the summer because we're doing stone fruit. It has to be in season. The only thing for schools that we do that's not freshly picked are apples. We store them for the spring, but as soon as apricots and blueberries start, we stop apples.
As a farm-to-student program, Food for Thought has hosted over 1,200 farmers markets on elementary school campuses. Consisting of a full nutrition education workshop, this program has hosted events from Sacramento all the way to San Diego. Using their own packing line, the fruit that they deliver is carefully graded and 100% fresh. And what isn't delivered is donated to local food banks, topping off at nearly 900,000 pounds donated as of right now.
I would tell people, go to local farmers markets. Don't buy it at the store. You're buying at the store, it could be 17 days or a year old. It takes that long to make it to the store shelves. Well, what we're doing is we're packing it right out of the field. So my school districts, whether it's Sac City or Chula Vista ESD or Kings Canyon Unified or Kalinga or Lodi or Campbell Unified or Berkeley, they know they're getting something fresh out of the field. That is a big key.
This service has most of their fruit brought directly to their warehouse by farmers, with the farthest farm as far north as Stockton and as far south as Exeter. This program makes eating healthier and learning about nutrition as easy as possible. I'm Kevin Hernandez from Fresno State in California, USA.
Studies have shown that students who eat more fruits and more vegetables and get regular physical activity often perform better in the classroom.
You're watching Food for Thought, a show produced by students from 10 universities around the world.
This episode is focusing on issues related to farming and agriculture.
We produce 7 shows, and you can watch them all on our website as well as on YouTube and Facebook.
We have another story to share with you now from our partners at HKBU in Hong Kong. Here are Samuel Lee and Luckman Yuan.
With 8 million people packed into just over 1,000 square kilometers, Hong Kong is not exactly famous for farming.
But a number of local farmers have started up in recent years not only to teach people how to grow their own food, but also the need to improve food sustainability. Summer Lee from Hong Kong Baptist University reports.
With no chemical fertilizer or pesticides, organic farming is gaining its momentum locally in Hong Kong. Among them, Outlaw Organic Farming is doing more. By launching visiting tour and recruiting weekend helpers, it opens a window for people to shortly escape from the city life and to learn and experience the organic farming works.
其實活動係好一個直接嘅方式啦，等消費者可以行入去嗰個生產者種植嘅地方，了解翻佢哋買緊嘅嘢或者食緊嘅嘢係點樣製造出嚟嘅。
Founded by a pair of farmer siblings, the farm has set a series of workshops and tours to promote organic farming culture to the general public. Sign up through the farm's Facebook account. Citizens can tour around the farm, try out the works, and even do meditations and drawings in the place.
其實我哋加入呢啲活動咧，全部都係覺得農場呢一個環境咧，其實好多可能性嘅，可以好多元嘅。真係即係都市人啦，都會知道啊，其實香港嘅農場咧，唔係淨係種菜一個功能嘅，咁佢可以係有其他功能，例如話可以俾一啲都市人入嚟放鬆啊，入嚟去玩啊，入嚟去了解多啲農作物啊，做教育啊，做保育啊等等。
Many people like Chloe and Jonas attracted to come to Olo Farm to be a volunteer during weekends.
2020年有病毒嘅時候咧，咁就啲菜開始大家留意個來源啊各樣啦，咁就開始訂香港嘅菜，當時覺得好開心嘅，咁之後就嚟咗做義工咯，咁啊幫佢哋可能有時喺呢度做啲簡單嘅農務啊。
以前小學好細個嘅時候咧，其實我係有開始接觸有機耕種嘅。因為有個朋友帶咗我過嚟呢度做義工，所以開始接觸翻有機耕種呢樣嘢。係主要我就係除草同埋翻土嘅。係啊。因為其實成個過程係好 meditative 啊，即係好似好平靜得嚟，重複去做每一個動作嘅時候，其實你係會開始對唔係淨係出邊嘅嘢，你開始對自己都會有啲 reflection 咧。
咁但係同時間都可能用自己嘅網絡嚟去幫即係推廣香港嘅農業咯。
They don't use pesticides or any chemicals at this farm. They hope to do their part in cutting down pollution in Hong Kong.
Wow, such an interesting concept. People coming from around the city to perform physical labor, but I kind of get it. Like the point that was made in the story, there is more to a farm than just growing vegetables. It can also be a place where city dwellers can come and relax and have fun. But as we turn our attention back west, I understand California is quite a substantial agricultural producer.
Yes, California produces a third of the vegetables and over 2/3 of the fruit in the United States. Dairy from California is a top 10 producer, earning more than $7 billion annually. California ranks first in the U.S. for agricultural cash revenue.
We have more than 700 certified farmers markets in California. In San Francisco, the Center for Urban Education about Sustainable Agriculture is one example of community organization providing for California residents. Lily Gonzalez from California State University, Fresno has the story.
The Ferry Building in San Francisco has hosted farmers from all over California for the past 28 years. The Central Valley can be seen throughout the 100-plus vendor market. Bree Mazurek says these local gatherings were created by the community.
By a group of community members, farmers, chefs, activists, people who really cared about making this public space in front of the Ferry Building a communal space and one that could really be dedicated to bringing together people around good food, around supporting local farmers, supporting local makers.
Farmers Market provide a direct connection between growers and consumers. These transactions allow locals to meet and support their farmers.
You get to choose your vegetables, you get to choose how much you want. You don't have to take a full package if there are only 2 people. And it's a delightful social experience.
It's a community thing and the local economy, right?
If you're looking for something neat you can do with your family or friends, Farmers Market here at the Ferry Building in the Embarcadero is the place to be. 3 days a week, rain or shine, year-round. Farms from all over California. We're talking Reedley, Santa Cruz, Modesto, the East Bay, South Bay. They meet here and they provide these amazing organic and non-organic options, products for the community. The Central Valley provides a variety of produce and allows you to enjoy diversity throughout California. I'm Lily Gonzalez at Fresno State in California, United States of America.
Farmers markets are great places to buy locally grown organic goods, and their popularity has exploded not just here in California, but where you are from, Ontario, Canada. Right, Matthew?
Yeah, there's lots of farmers markets here in the spring and the summer. Many will set up tents with fresh fruits and vegetables like corn, but a persistent question surrounding farmers markets, though, is whether shoppers at these markets really believe that vendors are selling them organic food. Is it necessary for them to have a certification label? Grace Turner and Shay Hayes have this story from Ryerson University in Toronto.
The farmers market you're looking at is located here in Trinity Bellwoods Park in Toronto, where consumers and farmers gather every Tuesday.
My name's Zach. We're Waymack Farms. We're located in Lakefield, just north of Peterborough, and we're a mushroom farm.
Waymack Farms produce all different types of organically grown mushrooms and follows hands-on traditional farming.
Organically grown, not certified, I don't use any chemicals, any pesticides.
For farmers, becoming certified is a timely process. Depending on the kind of business, product, and area, the certification procedures will differ. Farmers like Zach say it's not worth it.
The certification, in my opinion, is kind of just like a money grab.
But at the end of the day, it's up to the consumer to decide what parameters satisfy them best.
My name is Fallon, and I like shopping here because I can actually talk to the people who grow the food. And like, you see what's fresh, you kind of like get a better sense of like what grows in Ontario.
Organic fresh produce is what consumers like Fallon strive for when they're shopping. But for certified organic farmers, they can charge up to 30% more for their product. Certification can take 15 to 36 months from the date of registration, accumulating thousands of dollars in registration, annual, and product fees. Generally, smaller farmers produce a variety of produce rather than mass-scaling ones, and the price is more affordable for consumers who trust their farmers are transparent on how they grow their produce.
I think like I know how much that can cost farmers to get, so I trust them.
Farmers like Zach claim that he sells the same amount of product as farmers who spent the time and money to get certified, and that his customers are aware that his products are just as nutritious.
People trust us, and that's sort of like we've built that trust over the years, and a lot of the farmers, but it's one of really important to us that our farming is as sustainable as it can be, as environmentally friendly as it can be, and as healthy as it can be for people. That's our main thing, is having healthy foods at a good price and fresh.
Shay Hayes, Global Campus Studio.
We've experienced a rise in the U.S. in the popularity of organic food over the past decade. Now, just to be clear, organic in the U.S. means that the produce has been grown on soil that has had no prohibited substances like pesticide applied for 3 years prior to the harvest.
In many cases, it's more expensive to buy organic, but not always. Is there a noticeable difference?
Well, to test this out, we each brought a Fuji organic and non-organic apple, and we're going to compare how they each taste. Let's see if we can guess which one is organic and which one is non-organic. Lena?
Yeah, this non-organic Fuji apple costs $1.13 Canadian. That's about 89 cents for you guys. In the summer and the fall, we can get local apples, but at this time of year, most of our fruit is imported from California or Florida or South America. This one here is from Chile.
So let's begin with this non-organic apple. Okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's all right. Well, this apple is $2.26, which in America is $1.78 on the American dollar. So let's see how this one tastes. This one's definitely much better.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's not even a competition. This one is much better.
Much juicier, better flavor profile.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, much better.
So we came to the conclusion, organic is better.
Yeah, I'd have to agree.
But Noah, How much did your apple cost?
Well, when we look, we see that our non-organic Fuji here is 57 cents. And then when we look at the organic Fuji, you're looking at 75 cents. So really, it's not really a huge jump in price. Shall we eat them, Anna,
Yes,
to
let's
decide?
begin.
Okay, so we're going to start with the non-organic Fuji. Me personally, I've always loved Fujis. So non-organic, I've never tried an organic one. So let's try the second. Let's try
I've
it.
actually never tried an organic one either.
All right, well, let's try it. Where we got?
How's it tasting?
Better too for you guys?
They do taste a little bit different. I'm gonna have to say the organic one does taste better.
Yeah.
And you gotta share your thoughts.
I think they taste the same for me.
What?
Yeah. Yeah, they taste the same.
They taste like for us, like definitely. I feel
Yeah,
like the
for-
organic had a better flavor. It tasted more juicy and
It was
crisp
juicier. It
and-
had more like liquid in it. I feel like it was a lot fresher, but not too much of a difference in Fresno.
Not for me. Not for my taste buds.
That's really interesting, actually. You know, it's really
I
interesting. I
enjoy it.
feel like fruit in Lebanon tastes very different when it's organically grown versus it's not here. But back to you guys.
See, some people might say organic tastes better, but studies have shown that there is no difference in nutritional value between organic and non-organic food.
Organic can be more expensive, but not always. Our professor bought us these Honeycrisp apples from a store called Sprouts in Fresno. They carry both organic and non-organic produce. Both of these apples, the organic and the non-organic, were the same price, $1.98 a pound, or basically $1 Canadian each, for both organic and the non-organic one.
Well, I guess we gotta try it again. Now, this time we're gonna do it with the Honeycrisp. And I can get some. So we're starting off with the non-organic, which is 75 cents. Whoa.
Good?
I love this. I love this one.
I've never had Honeycrisp before, so
It's one of my favorite
this
apples.
is gonna be pretty interesting how it's gonna taste compared to the organic one. Is the organic one? You pick. Cheers.
Wow. Tons of apples.
This is a little more sour.
I can taste the sourness in this one too.
I think they should put this show on the Food Network.
Yeah. Guy Fieri over here.
You've been flavor time. Now, I have to say the organic one is better in this one. For
Interesting.
sure. Can you please agree with that
Yes,
one?
I agree with you.
So we
You're
had kind of
watching
a
Food for
similar.
Thought. Our show provides a global perspective on many topics about food. From this show about farming to our other programs that look at serious issues like food waste, but also celebrate the foods of the world. You can watch all of our shows on our website.
If the COVID-19 pandemic has taught us anything, it is that a community working together can do pretty amazing things.
There are people behind the scenes at local farms who produce food for their community. These farms are known as CSA, Community Supported Agriculture. With more on this story, Denise Hasikufu-Olu and Grace Turner from Ryerson University have the story.
Community-supported agriculture is a way local farms are economically sustained by the contribution of the families and communities. Mount Wolf Farm ensures that their community is involved within this entire process by being a CSA farm.
My name is Sarah. I'm the farm manager here at Mount Wolf Farm, which is located just between Bolton and Palgrave in beautiful Caledon, Ontario. And we are predominantly a CSA farm.
Mount Wolf Farm sets itself apart from grocery stores.
We grow a wide range of summer and winter veggies. Like, we're really trying to accommodate close to a full diet so that people have a viable alternative to the grocery store.
With a lot of hard work, the efforts placed into the maintenance of Mount Wolf Farm pays off by providing a sense of community.
Being a nexus for kind of community like dynamism, that's what I really see at the pickups, and you can't really kind of quantify it until you see it. It's like people just meeting their neighbors, seeing one another on a regular basis, and it's not like any profound stuff is going on, but it's the recognition and the kind of the repetition of seeing people in a positive space. You just start to see how something like a community farm becomes a nexus for resilience and strength of these like larger networks.
Mount Wolf Farm has gained 80 contributors over the years.
So my name's Carolyn Vallejo, and I've been a member of Mount Wolf CSA since November of last year. So today actually got some great stuff. I got a pumpkin, a delicata squash and an acorn squash, some eggplants, cooking onions, green peppers, daikon radish, kohlrabi, so a whole 2 weeks worth of food.
With a variety and selection of vegetables, Mount Wolf Farm ensures to accommodate all of their contributors.
Probably the biggest way CSA has impacted our lives is to encourage us to eat more veggies in our diet.
The produce at Mount Wolf are locally sourced and grown to guarantee the healthiest process of farming.
I would shop at mainstream grocery stores. I find here the selection is even better, and I am introduced to more vegetables that I wouldn't normally eat. So we're eating healthier. That's number one.
Mount Wolf sets up pickup booths every Friday for their contributors to shop.
So the great thing about being part of a CSA like this is that you're supporting the local economy and local farmers. You're getting locally grown produce and you know where it's coming from, and it's all grown in a healthy way. And also, you're part of a community. You know, every time you come for your pickups, you see people, you see friends from the neighborhood, and you can socialize.
CSA farming is the food-conscious alternative to grocery shopping. Farms like Mount Wolf are creating a sustainable hub for locals around the world. This is Denise Adusfolo and Grace Turner from Ryerson University in Toronto, Canada.
It's amazing to see that kind of cohesiveness within a community. Anna and Noah, does this kind of community farming exist in Fresno or elsewhere in California?
Yeah, we do have CSAs in and around California, although in Fresno, they're not as popular as now as they used to be. Growers here say it's just not cost effective.
A big problem in California right now is that even though we grow so many fruits and vegetables, the growers are having a difficult time finding the workers to pick and pack the fruit. During the last few years, the number of available field workers has decreased in California.
Without field workers, tree fruit goes unpicked and precious food is wasted, never making it to store shelves. Fortunately, in Fresno, we can still find plenty of produce in stores, but it isn't always from the local area.
With the harvest season just wrapping up, growers hope they'll have a larger workforce next season for the world's largest fruit basket.
Every summer, about 25,000 seasonal or migrant workers come to Canada to pick fruits and vegetables.
Yeah, most of them come from Mexico, Jamaica, or other Caribbean countries. When COVID hit, there were lots of stories about the poor conditions for the workers. In Ontario, for one, the hundreds of migrant workers were recently denied fresh air during quarantine.
Fresh air? How?
All migrant workers were forced in quarantine in hotel rooms without windows that closed. Even before COVID, there were stories of crowded living conditions and a lack of access to toilets and limited privacy. There have also been lots of reports and calls on the government to take action, but demand for migrant workers continues, and there's always a steady flow of people who take the jobs despite these conditions.
There is also a huge demand for truck drivers. There was already a shortage before COVID, but now the American Trucking Association says 80,000 truck drivers are needed to help fix the supply chain issue.
Part of the problem is age restrictions, pay and working conditions. But now with the new vaccine mandate that includes truckers, the American Trucking Association says many truckers are quitting instead of getting vaccinated.
Many products that arrive in the United States ports are destined for Canada, so that has an impact on us as well. There's been a rapid rise in food prices nationwide, but not related to COVID. The problem has only gotten worse with British Columbia, which has had many roads shut due to major floods. Lots of goods from Asia arrive at the port in Vancouver, and because some major highways are now closed, that means that these things can't make it across the country.
Yeah, many economists are forecasting high prices and empty shelves during the holiday season as this pandemic continues to bog down that supply chain.
Although we as students aren't feeling the effects of the supply chain issue in Fresno, it is affecting organizations like the Food Bank. What usually takes 2 weeks to get food products here is now taking 6 to 8 weeks. And just in time for the American Thanksgiving, the Farm Bureau says turkeys are more expensive this year, 24% more because of the supply chain issues.
You've been watching Food for Thought, a series of shows created by university students from around the world.
In our other episodes, we talk about health and nutrition, food waste in the environment, and more.
we have a show about the celebration of foods featuring unique foods from around the world. And there are a lot of misconceptions. For example, when many people think of American food, they think we all eat hot dogs and hamburgers. However, my favorite food is tacos.
For me, it's mole. It's a traditional Mexican dish that is made from poblano chiles, chocolate, and other spices. It's my favorite because I was born in Puebla, Mexico.
That sounds delicious. And living in Toronto, I've been exposed to a lot of different foods, and I really enjoy going to Little Italy and eating at a local Italian restaurant, have a nice pasta, and there's so many great options in Toronto. That's why I love living here.
Yeah, no, I love it too. Unfortunately, there's not many great food options for me as I'm Lebanese and I love Lebanese food, but there's so many interesting other foods to try. I've tried some interesting Thai cuisine, some Persian cuisine. It's really interesting, and I really have enjoyed that.
Yes, I agree. All foods sound delicious to me as well. You can watch that show and all of our other Food for Thought shows on Facebook, YouTube, and on our website.
I think this has been a really interesting discussion throughout this entire show. We've really went coast to coast, both coasts, the United States and Canada. I think one common theme is just how much food is a part of all of our lives, whether we think of it or not. Like, we're eating 3 meals a day, but there's also so many issues when it comes to the supply chain and also farm workers. Food just kind of permeates into all aspects of our life.
Yes, to follow along with, I think it's important to give our farm workers proper treatment because we do get our foods from them.
To learn from that also, just how far our food actually goes. I mean, you guys even mentioned how you were eating apples that were from California, and you guys are on the complete opposite end of North America. It just shows how important our food market is.
Yeah, I definitely think that food connects us all, and that's just the overarching theme of all of these shows we've been doing. Food is a universal language for truly all of us.
Well, we want to thank everyone for watching, and we want to thank all of our partner countries for an amazing set of shows. I hope you check them all out. But this has been Food for Thought, Agriculture and Farming Edition, and we thank you so much for watching. Goodbye, everyone, from Toronto.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.